Hi, I'm Jehovah's Princess and electronic artist musician. My name is Jehovah. My mom was the one who really primarily converted. My father was a military vet and also had some trouble with the law a lot during my childhood. She was hearing about the resurrection promise. Um, like similar to your story, I realized I was queer around this time, and I was like, "Oh my God, no!" Then I was officially kicked out a week after graduation of high school. But then I started Jehovah's Princess.
Today, we're going to get a lesson in the music genre known as technopunk. But first, this is Seeds of Awakening. I'm the host of my channel. This is your home for ExJW tales. Stories from people walked away from the high control legion known as Jehovah's Witnesses. Please comment, like, subscribe, smash that notification bell, or share this interview. Today's guest hails from Austin, Texas, where they say they started off in a life of poverty, but now they live in New York, where they live a much more artistic, musical lifestyle. Let's meet them now and learn their story. All right, so I want to welcome you to Seeds of Awakening. So this is a little bit different because I usually introduce my guests and introduce their names, but I'm gonna let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Jehovah's Princess and electronic artist musician. My name is Jehovah, or as my friends know me, Jah, which is my nickname. Sometimes
S-
people, when they hear it, they're like, John. And I'm like, no, Jah.
So
Mhm.
where are you from, and how'd you come to become a Jehovah's Witness in the first place?
So I'm originally from Austin, Texas. I was born on an army base back in Texas. My parents met during the invasion of Panama, so I'm Panamanian-American. And the way that they converted when I was two, um, so I was pretty much raised in it. That's all I knew throughout my life. The way that they started studying with the witnesses is, I think my dad had like taken me to the apartment pool complex, and then like the witnesses knocked on the door. My mom answered. Um, they started studying the Bible with her, and I guess they resonated with it because they were shopping around for churches at the time. And the stories that they would tell me, at least, because there's not much I know really about my family history, is that they were shopping around for churches. They went to like Pentecostal churches, Baptist churches, and they got a little, they were like, they were speaking in tongues. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I guess the reason why my mom, because before back in Panama, my mom would tell me stories of like, it's the witnesses, run, hide. So they would be like ducking, bobbing, weaving, like
Hmm.
making sure that nobody was home or make it look like nobody was home. But I guess this time, because she was hearing about the resurrection promise, um, like similar to your story, she actually had a younger brother pass away from a drowning during a beach trip. And so when I heard that with you, I was like, okay, this is pretty similar to how my mom ended up converting as well.
Yeah, it's normally a tragedy or some reason why someone is attracted to the message that Jehovah's Witnesses preach, like the resurrection, hope they might have lost a loved one or
Mhm.
a friend of theirs, or they're scared to die in Armageddon. Something like there's a reason for it. So it sounds like your parents were searching for, they resonate with the message Jehovah's Witnesses are preaching.
Right. So, yeah, my mom with the resurrection promise, my dad, um, he was, both of them were raised Catholic, but obviously in different parts of the world. My dad being from Nebraska and like raised white Catholic, and then my mom is Black and Indigenous, raised Panamanian, Latino Catholic. And but again, this is a Christian sect that we're speaking about. And
Hmm.
so my mom was the one who really primarily converted. My father was a military vet and also had some trouble with the law a lot during my childhood. So he wasn't as present. And then when he fully came back, then he went full in with it. And I'm like, okay. There's a lot I've had to process with my parents both being Jehovah's Witnesses, that like with education and time, I'm like, I understand, I get it now, so I'm not as angry.
So what
But
was your youth like?
oof. Um, Poverty,
Mhm.
uh, in and out of homeless shelters, a lot of domestic violence. My road trips were to prisons. Um, and then a lot of door knocking. My weekends were spent doing that, field service. It was pretty isolated, I would say. Not really allowed to have friends in school. And the few kids in the congregation that I was first raised in, I was kind of outcasted within that congregation too, due to my parents standing in the church. It didn't matter that like my mom would spend all her time. She would be working sometimes two or three jobs and still go out in field service. I would sleep on a bamboo mat when she was working at a hotel. I remember this. Like like she was working at this motel. I would sleep on a bamboo mat while she was working, and then it'd be 7 a.m. We get ready for field service and we go out. And sometimes I would also be going out in field service before school, after school as well. So like I was very much like like in it. And then I became homeschooled after my parents they bought a house in what's considered the hood in Austin. Austin don't really got a hood, but like because of its redlined history, lower income
There's
area.
always a hood in every city, pretty much. There's a
Yeah.
have, they have nots. Yep.
And I'm like, if people are making jokes about getting their rims stolen because of coming to visit us, I think we might be living in the hood.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think like I'm not sure if we got the house through Section 8 or not. And also the projects are right there. So
That's good. That's a good indication.
I was like, I don't know what you think this is, but it might be the hood.
Right.
Um, and so yeah, and so we switched congregations at that point, and I'm pretty sure I was the only one in the congregation that was my age. So I became homeschooled around that time. My little brother was born at that time, so this was around fifth or sixth grade. And I thought being homeschooled, because I had really severe anxiety growing up and depression, even though in Latino communities or like POC communities, it's mental illness isn't real. Like
Right.
we don't have that in Panama. Like it's just the crazy guy. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, you're talking, you be
Somebody
talking
calls
all,
it. Yeah.
it's like you be talking all this stuff about, I'm trying not to curse.
You
Because
can cuss. It's fine.
I got the mouth of a sailor, so
That's fine.
sorry.
Whatever.
I'm just like, you talking all this shit about like assimilation and about your own people, and then you get mad at me though for like talking about mental health and stuff and saying it's American and it's white and it's I'm like, I mean, mira me.
Hmm.
Like, okay. Anyways, yeah, got homeschooled because of like severe anxiety and my grades, like I was a huge nerd, but my grades were suffering. And then also I thought it was an opportunity because my dad had come back from prison, like officially final time. So I thought. And so I was like, okay, this is an opportunity. Like I'll be able to go to museums and like spend my time like playing more piano because I was a self-taught pianist. Um, and like I was just really interested in music and like acting, even though those are all like, ooh, don't do that. Just I
Hmm.
was a very creative kid and also very athletic. Like I was playing tennis, but then my parents took me out of it because apparently the coach thought I had potential to go pro or like at least get a scholarship.
Right. You were really good in it, basically.
Yeah,
And it didn't go again. It went against Jehovah's plan for Armageddon coming in. Why would you put your hope in tennis?
and it's just like no college, like why you having hopes for the future if it's gonna all get destroyed. And they were very big at that time of like telling those stories. I'm not sure if you were in the congregation when they would tell that story about a track runner who got offered a college scholarship.
Is there a video about it? Is there? I think I saw a video about a story about that, but
I think it
uh,
might have been in a wake or
oh,
something.
okay.
And it was just about like how the student turned the scholarship down to become a pioneer for Jehovah. And I was like,
That's his problem.
I know. But I was like, but I think about that and I'm like, wow, I was really robbed of that opportunity
Hmm. Yeah,
because
my
it,
parents were kind of opposite. They didn't really play that. I mean, my dad was kind of like, well, they've been wrong before. The end might not come in their lifetime. So why not go to college and be able to work and make money? It's like it's better to make $25 an hour than $15 an hour. That's how my dad kind of looked at it.
yeah, like it was very, I was raised with a lot of contradictions in the sense of like being raised very hardcore in the South with this indoctrination,
Hmm.
but also being told by my mom during the times that she was a single parent of like, do your best in school. You got to do your best in school so that way you can get a good job and do this, that, and the third. But then also being told by like the elders in the congregation, like, don't go to college. So I was like, somehow I'm gonna be a lawyer for Bethel. That's my plan. I was like, I'm
That's
gonna
a
get
good. That's a good plan, actually.
I was like, I'm gonna get married by 21, have a kid, and become a lawyer for Bethel and travel and learn French. I actually, when I was homeschooled, I did join a French congregation to learn French because what else did I have to do with my time? Like, I had a parent who was an addict at home, and I was helping raise a newborn sibling. So, like, damn, let me go learn some French.
What age was it when you started being homeschooled?
I was 12.
Okay, so kind of the middle school age.
Yeah, so yeah, when I went back to public school in high school, my friends would tell me like the horrors of middle school. So I'm like, maybe I missed out
Right.
because I was in public middle school for 3 months at this like wealthy school district in Austin because I was a transfer student. And the first like three, actually, no, it could have been a month maybe. I was like, I folded. I think I was getting bullied because I
Yeah.
was very socially awkward and definitely autistic, but my parents were not noticing anything. Um, so yeah, I folded and I was like, homeschooled, yes, let's do it. And then for like 3 years, I was homeschooled. I'm like, I need to get out of here.
My mom
But
tried to homeschool for like 3 months, but me and my brother were too rambunctious, and she was like, "They miss associating with other kids, so we're gonna send them back to." There was a witness school that I actually went to for throughout elementary, and I think I went there through the seventh grade, so that was kind of my experience.
a witness school?
Yeah, there was a private witness school out here in California where I was raised, so that's where I went. So it was all, I mean, the principal was an elder, and the teachers were all witnesses, and the kids were all witnesses, pretty much.
What? Oh my gosh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it was back in the, I guess, maybe 90s, maybe late 80s. Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah, it was in
remember,
the early 80s actually, because it was like I was by the time it was like 87, I was going to public middle school. So yeah, it was like the 80s.
oh wow. I remember like when I was in third grade thinking, I wish there was like an all witness school
Hmm.
for all of us to be in and we could just study the Bible. And I'm like, oh my God.
It was pretty basic, but it got the job done. I feel like I struggled in math the most because I ended up skipping a grade when I was there because my parents registered me late one year. So they ended up skipping me. I think I skipped the sixth grade. So that was the only negative that I found was that in math, I'm kind of like lame.
I wanted to skip a grade, but because I was supposed to be in the grade above me, but because of George Bush, I was born 5 days after the cutoff.
Oh yeah.
Darn you, Bush. Um, darn Bush for a bunch of other things that he did in Panama, but that's my political area. So
So you were homeschooled and then you went to public high school.
yes.
So what was that like? Was it culture shock? Was it like, oh my gosh?
Well, I was in public school for like elementary school. I
Okay.
think homeschooling for me wasn't much of what I guess a typical homeschooling experience is like because it was just me, like by myself. Like I was teaching myself. I did like the K-12 program and it was just like a bunch of modules. So my schedule pretty much would turn into like I think I'd wake up. I did not have a healthy schedule. I'd wake up at like 10 a.m., go check on my brother, make sure that he was fed or just like take care of him, put him down for naps and stuff. And my dad would be around to help, but my dad, again, like being a military vet and also having his own, let's say, generational trauma and mental
I mean,
health.
all the issues and PTSD, I would assume.
Yes. And just some addiction stuff going on.
Yeah.
So it was just pretty much me and then just making sure that like stuff was taken care of. And then I would like watch YouTube clips for hours and then like play
Hmm.
piano on this little mini keyboard that I'd have and like just write music. And then I would start school because my mom was also in college at the time. Actually,
Okay.
yeah. My mom started college when I got homeschooled. And
So you were witnesses. Your mom was in college. How'd that work out?
I think this was because my dad, when he got out of prison, He filed with the VA for disability and they considered him 100% disabled. So that's when he like was getting his benefits, and then
Hmm.
the spousal benefits for my mom, she could go to college.
Oh, okay, so she took advantage of that.
Yeah. And I think like she was just trying to like better her socioeconomic situation as well. Um, which is gonna tie in later to something really insane in my head with like logic thinking.
Hmm.
Um, oh yeah, so yeah, she was in college. Basically, my middle school homeschooling experience, I realized I was like, oh, I was just here to raise my brother. Like I was not doing much. Maybe went on a few like child actor auditions or something.
Auditions. Yeah, you're already showing your artistic side.
Yeah, and then I would play like sorority life on Facebook, and then like, oh, I would preach on Yahoo Answers to get my hours in because I didn't have a car to go to field service. So how else was I going to get them in?
Digital ministry.
Yep, exactly. And then oh, I realized I was queer around this time, and I was like, "Oh my God, no! No, I can't be queer." And then I kind of started having doubts in God because I was like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm doing all of this stuff for Jehovah. I'm part of like two or three different congregations. I'm dedicating my time going on field service, learning other languages by myself, mind you. And there's a bunch of abuse at home. There's a bunch of like bullshit going on.
Hmm.
And there's probably like some scriptures of like the righteous will, you know,
Inherit the earth.
inherit the earth or like be rewarded as long as like you're doing what's right for Jehovah. Meanwhile, I'm hearing about the elders' kids and what they're up to. And I'm just like, why Jehovah? I used to have like crying fits on my knees when I was a kid, just being like, why Jehovah? And then
Hmm.
finding out, realizing that I was queer, I was praying the gay away. I was like, oh hell no. I cannot be gay. Like, I'm bi, but like I cannot be queer. And a bunch of that. Yeah, a lot of like conflicting things going on in middle school that I was handling by myself. So
Hmm.
I decided, like a good Christian, to get baptized.
That's so that my next question was, when did you get baptized?
I got baptized in eighth grade. I was 14.
Eighth grade, okay. So what
Yep.
happened after, usually that's when people start getting in trouble. What happened for you?
So I, so the day I got baptized, I was like, this is gonna solve everything. Like everything's gonna be fine. My mind, maybe it'll be like a moment of like what the anointed feel. Like I'm not saying that I'm gonna be anointed or nothing, but I'm just like maybe that feeling of like this,
Holiness will overtake me.
yeah, this spiritual rejuvenation,
Right.
whatever.
Rebirth.
Literally, oh, my first tattoo, actually, I'll show it to you later. Um, so yeah, they dunked me under the water. And the first moment that like I'm brought up, my first thought is like, I don't think I believe in God. And I was like, oh,
Wow.
I was like, I was still like this, just like, oh shit, I don't believe in God.
God's not real.
Oh, I don't think this is, what is this? But then
Hmm.
I still had to like keep it. Like I was like, no, that's Satan. Like, let me push that to the back of my head. Like, what? That's just the devil. And then, yeah, I was just not. I guess like yeah, eighth grade, I was just kind of like get over getting like abused and shit, and also not learning much because again, I was teaching myself, I was raising a child, and I was like, I need to get out of here. I need to go to public school. Like, so got that worked out, started my freshman year at the high school near me, and then in my mind, I was just like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm just here to like study, get the best GPA I can, go to a good college, just be my nerdy ass self. And then I took a theater class and I met this girl named Ariel, and she was the kindest person to me. Like, I had never truly experienced kindness and like an unconditional, non-judgmental love.
Friendship, right.
Like a friendship, yeah.
Hmm.
Like I have my cousins in the church, but like we're not like blood cousins. Our moms became best friends. So I just consider them family. Like
Hmm.
that's just my church family. That's my auntie, that's my cousins. And we're still like family to this day. They're not in it anymore as well. But this was the first time I guess like I had experienced friendship. And she didn't judge me for being a Jehovah's Witness, like none of that. I could just like be myself. And that was my, I guess, kind of like second awakening of just like this doesn't make any sense. Like, why would this person be destroyed in an Armageddon?
Yeah, that's
Like,
what happened to me too.
because I, this whole entire time, I've been isolated from the world. And then I was also an outcast within the congregation, getting treated like shit because my parents weren't elders and like judged for the actions of like things that were out of my control as a child. So how does that make any sense? And this
Mhm.
person is more of an example of like a better example of a Christian than I've ever met in this church. And so started like slowly like deconstructing through it. And then my sophomore year of college, I took this like I was in like this AP World History class, and I had found out that sorry, my computer keeps switching around. I had found out or learned that polytheism came before monotheism, which logically, yeah. But then I was like, wait, if the pagans came before Abrahamic religion or monotheistic religion, that would mean that monotheistic religions aren't the true religion. How could they be? They're not the oldest. And since we're told this is the truth and it's the oldest truth of there being the one and only true God, how does that
Mhm.
make any sense though?
Make it make sense, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that doesn't add up. And then that's when I was really like, oh, this don't seem right. And then on top of that, like I guess me being a teenager and getting my license, being able to drive, have a little bit more freedom, and just wanting to have a normal teenage life,
Experience.
like
Mhm.
just being like friends with people or just having friends in general. I remember my freshman year, I was cast in a theater show and I had to drop it. I was like, mind you, I was like an extra in this theater, high school theater production, but my parents made me drop it because Satan, the devil, all of that. And I was just like, and it low key did get me blackballed from
A theater, sure.
director at the high
Right,
school because it was like bailing at the last minute. And
right.
I don't think you understand.
You ruined your reputation.
Yeah. And yeah, and then my sophomore year, having a little more freedom, making more friends. Because I was like, I'm gonna do a 180. Because freshman year I was a mute pretty much because my anxiety was so bad. I like could not talk to people. I was just like I would be sweating even talking to teachers. Um, and then my mom started having doubts about it when I think by the end of my sophomore year. And then that's also when I started getting kicked out of the house a lot. And yeah, I don't know. It was very strange. But my mom started having doubts, um, which I think like catalyzed the doubts already in my head and like the knowledge that I had from again, like getting an education on world history. And so it was just resulting in a lot of arguments because my parents were still very conservative. My dad was still in it, mind you. He was just disfellowshipped. But
It was
again,
like, what do
mental.
they call it? Physically out, mentally in.
The,
They call it POMI when
yeah,
they're
yeah,
just, yeah.
homo, yeah. That was my dad. And my dad, like, he's got some stuff of like, like borderline schizophrenic and all of
Yeah.
that. So very much into like conspiracy, Alex Jones. I was raised with a lot of Alex Jones. My God, growing
Yeah,
up.
I've watched some of him too. He's
I was
got a
just,
kick in a good conspiracy theory, never hurt nobody.
I was like, they turned the frogs gay? Damn.
Basically.
I was like, they did that to me, no. And so yeah, with my mom having doubts, that's what kind of started like catalyzing my comfortability of being more open.
How does your mom reflect her doubts? Like, how did she state that she was having doubts, or what did she say to you? How did you know?
So the way that she expressed it to me was kind of like this is now it could have gone a different way. Just the core memory that I have is her expressing that if my brother were to ever get sick and if he needed a blood transfusion, she would not be able to refuse one for him.
Right. That makes sense, though. I mean, there are some parents who would do anything for their kids, regardless of what the religion says.
But mind you, I'm 12 years older than my brother.
Oh,
Never had that for me.
oh, right.
And I was just like, so what am I to you then? Because I think we were having a discussion about like my brother's first name, and
Hmm.
I was the one who picked his name because I thought it was like a cool skater name, and my mom was telling me it's like, no, I picked the name, like I picked it from the Bible, and I'm like, no, you didn't. I was watching The Pacifier with Vin Diesel in it, and I remember the cool skater sibling was named Seth, and I wanted his name to be Seth, and with this middle name that I had also picked out. And she was like, no, I picked that name because he's supposed to be the savior of the family. And you see how your father is, and he's the boy, and so he's got to save the family. And I just like, if he needs a blood transfusion, I can't let him die. I'm like, so you will let me die? And yeah, that's how it went. That's my core memory of like why she started having doubts was because she was not willing to risk my brother's life, is what
Gotcha. So was there any other area that you kind of questioned, or was it just with that?
just that,
Okay.
just because just from having a son.
Gotcha.
And like I think it's kind of a thing with like um mainly in like the black and brown community, if you're a firstborn daughter, you're gonna go through it. So, or you're gonna go through it. So,
Hmm. It was
um,
like he was kind of the favorite child because he was the male probably, and he was the youngest, so there was some of that going on.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and firstborn daughters are just mainly supposed to be like
Helping the
trained.
father, helping the parents out, being the helper, raising the kid. Yeah.
You're trained to be a wife. You're trained to be a cook, like a
A
house.
second class citizen, kind of second class citizen.
Exactly. And that is actually what I was trained to be though. Like when I think about it and like any relationships that I've had in the past, I'm like I just kind of like revert back to that
Hmm.
mentality of like, oh, this is what a wife is supposed to do. This is like I'm supposed to be cooking and cleaning. But then I also rebel against that and I just go to two extremes.
Right.
Like, I'm like, actually no, F these men. Like, nah, motherfucker, I'm not doing this shit for you. So yeah, and then she started having her doubts, and I was like, okay, thank God I can be a little more open, or I thought I could be. We used to sneak out to this McDonald's like in the area and tell my dad that we were at the Kingdom Hall, and we would just like wait there for 2 hours because we didn't want to risk like coming back to a destroyed house or something.
You, your
But
mom would do that?
yeah, yeah. So like Thursday on meeting nights or the theocratic ministry nights, we would just go to the McDonald's, eat.
Skip the meeting, play hooky from the Kingdom Hall.
That yes, yes. And then so this is all around like the end of my sophomore year, I believe. And then my parents were also like just fighting a lot. And again, I was like still taking care of my brother, taking him to school. Just trying to be there for him because I didn't want him to have the childhood that I had. And they were in a little bit of a better socioeconomic place. My mom was about to graduate from college. She graduated my senior year. Um,
Did brothers give your mom any hell for going to college, though? Did they ever question her about that?
I don't think so. The only
Okay.
shepherding call that we received was an episode that my dad was having,
Okay.
and that was about it. Because I think he had gotten back into gambling.
Hmm.
Um, but then yeah, and then I started getting kicked out of the house because I wanted to have friends and I wanted to do choir, so I was kicked to the streets out like a lot, which further my value system, and I was just like, oh yeah, I definitely don't believe in this. This is a cult. And I got really angry. Um, and I was just like, this makes no sense. Like, I'm a straight A student. I'm getting kicked out to the streets at random occasions. I'm living with other people's families, and yeah, this is kind of fucked up.
Hmm.
And then yeah, I was officially yeah, it makes so my senior year, like fully out of it. I'm living with different families, and I get told I have to go back to their house because of like CPS was threatening to get involved, and they said that my brother would get taken away, and I was like, that's my baby, so no, I'm gonna do whatever I can to protect him. And then I was officially kicked out a week after graduation of high school, despite having like a scholarship to NYU, and I was just like, ah, I'm homeless. Okay. But then there was a family, my friend Allie. Um, I remember Well, first, my friend Allie picked me up, took me to my high school boyfriend's house, and I was staying there, but then I couldn't stay there because the family was going on vacation. Um, and then my friend Allie drove me to her parents' place. And I just remember asking her mom, like, hey, Liz, can I just like stay here for like a night or two? Like, I have some money from a car accident. I don't have anywhere to go, and I just need to like find an apartment or a car or something, and I'll like get a job and just like sleep in the car or whatever. And she's like, "What? Are you insane?" Like, I'm like, "Well, no, like I just don't want to be a bother. Like my parents shunned me and stuff." So she's like, "You're gonna live here? Like, have you seen our house? Like we have the space. Are you insane?" So I ended up living with them. Like, shout out like to my second mom, Liz. Like we have the same birthday too, which is crazy, like September 10th. I'm like, oh,
It's in the stars.
yeah. And then I moved to New York to attend NYU. And then that was just a lot. I I got actually disenrolled from NYU over a bill. I was like, yeah, I went there to go study like the intersection of artificial intelligence and music.
Okay.
I created that major. But then I started Jehovah's Princess because I was just like, I need to mitigate all the trauma in my life. And then I got into like the rave scene and noise music and punk music. And
Mhm.
that's what I do now.
So, did you ever get disfellowshipped, or what? How'd you end up leaving the organization? What was like the breaking point? Was it was just you having friends and kind of doing your own thing in high school?
Yeah, so I just faded out.
Okay.
Like I don't know if they still got my name on the records.
I think Mike's somewhere, but who? It's probably Dusty.
I know, I'm like, if they look for it, it's gonna be like
Exactly. That's what I'm like. I'm like, who has it even?
yeah, and I remember like I originally started Jehovah's Princess as a way to like find other ex-Jehovah's Witnesses who might be going through the same thing. And I've met actually a lot of like artists who are also ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that I would have never expected
Mhm.
that. I'm like, I used to listen to you in high school. What do you mean you're an ex-Jehovah's Witness? Are you serious? Oh my God. So yeah. So yeah, I just faded out along with my mom. But then my mom is still very conservative, as in like jump from one cult to another.
So,
Um
so what does she do now? What's she into now?
Last I
I
heard, it's
I
been
call
years.
it cult hopping. Sorry, I call it cult hopping.
That is the perfect way to say it.
Mhm.
Well, my first year in college, I found out uh MAGA.
Oh, that cult. Wow. That's
Um, yeah. And I don't mean to like put her business out there. Um,
well, you didn't say her name, so that's fine.
yeah. I feel bad sometimes because it's just like I do understand that, but I also don't understand though is that I'm like, how are you an Afro-Indigenous woman who is an immigrant from Panama? And this is what you're telling me
And
that you didn't
MAGA,
do?
right?
I'm like, I thought you were going to the Buddhist temple to have the vegan food. I thought we were going in a different path together.
That's where I would be.
But apparently not. Apparently she was just going to the Buddhist temple for the food.
Right?
Like, girl, please, please. And then she was like, you're getting brainwashed at NYU. And I'm,
No, you're getting brainwashed, mom.
huh? And yeah, she's very oh, I really I feel bad, but I'm also like I've been no contact with my family for years,
Right.
minus the very few times that I've seen them if I've happened to be in my hometown. And the few times I get to see my brother. But I finally reconnected with him last year though, because he
Cool. Congratulations.
so yeah, now we have a relationship, which
That's
I'm so happy
good.
about. But
Yeah.
I do have a lot of anger though at missing the rest of his childhood because again, like I said, he was like my little baby. So
So where do you stand now with your religious or spirituality? Where do you stand now with God?
so my personal belief system is more just like I'm definitely atheist,
Okay.
but I do like try to maintain, despite being ADHD, maintain a spiritual practice of like ancestral
Hmm.
reverence,
Hmm.
being in touch with like the spiritual practices of the like my familial history, and because I don't have much, the closest I can go back is like my great grandma, who is directly from a tribe in Panama, and then my abuelo, who I've never met, but I do know that his side of the family is Jamaican. So I just try to like get in touch there. And then I'm like on the white side, it's like Irish, German, but I don't know
Yeah.
them. I've met
You
them like once or twice in my life, and I'm like, I wasn't raised by y'all, and the parent that was supposed to be there was not there in my childhood.
Mhm. Did the elders ever say anything to you that really turned you off or like made you kind of think, is this the true religion? Was there any sort of beliefs that you questioned?
Um, a lot. I remember asking about the dinosaurs in elementary school. And there was a specific, I guess, publication that they had to
The Book of Bible Stories?
no, it was actually like a publication that was dedicated to explaining the dinosaurs. I think it was like a Watchtower and Awake or something.
Oh, okay.
Um that they gave me to read, and I read it and I was like, all right. Um but I think for me, when I say that I was like really hardcore about it, I was like I could twist any logic to make it work for it. Like if I
That's
call if I call
that's
my
anyone who's in though. Anyone will twist logic. Anyone who's in will figure it out. Like it makes sense because X, Y, or Z.
yeah, I was like, okay, well, it's because this and it's because the Bible says, and if you're using the Bible as your framework, um, within or that range of your arguments, then of course you can make it work. I mean, that's also how law works. You have to work within the legal framework, and that's how you're making your arguments. It's all interpretation, essentially.
Right.
Um, and then there would be some moments like, I don't know, I didn't question it because it was just my life, like the no birthdays, no holidays. I would have to be taken out of the classroom if any sort of like holiday thing was going on, and I'd spend a lot of time like with the office staff. Uh, then there was one time, I think this might have been before I was in elementary school. Um, it was either at like the apartment complex rec center or something that would watch the kids for like all the moms. This might have been at the shelter. I don't know. We were in and out so many times. It was Valentine's Day, and I probably was like 3 or something, maybe 4. So I made my mom a Valentine's Day card, and like we got sugar cookies, and I remember giving it to her, being like, "Happy Valentine's Day," because I didn't know better. No better. Sorry, I'm like words have weight. Like I just wasn't aware of the
Right. The
of word.
rules.
Um, and she was like, "You need to throw that away. That's Satan." And I'm like, well, damn. I felt like SpongeBob when he made that sweater for Squidward. It's like, well, here's a sweater of my tears, I guess. Um, and then there was, oh gosh, my mom and I used to argue a lot, even when I was a little kid. I was a very angry child. Um, I guess I said something to her, and this was like the day after the weeknight meeting, and they were talking about that story of like Jesus being on the mountain. Was that when he was like, "Get behind me, Satan"?
Attempted 40, he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, and then he was
Yeah.
tempted. Yeah.
So I guess we had talked about that at the meeting that night prior, and then the next night, my mom and I think I was like 6 or 7, and we're arguing, I don't know over what. And then she just was like, "Get behind me, Satan," calling me the devil. And I was like, "What? Why the fuck me for? Like, what the hell?" Um,
Right.
and then she's like, "Do you want me to call CPS? Like, do you want to get adopted? Do you want to be in foster care?" It was kind of that, but I'm like, damn, the universal hood experience, I guess. Like,
Right.
and like you want to be in foster care in the system. But I also understand that she was like stressed out a lot.
Mhm.
I can only imagine what it was like for her to. Now she claims that she wasn't speaking English that well, but I think she just didn't want to teach me Spanish. Um, and then I guess also during my childhood, I was not connected with my family. Like I've seen my family in Panama 3 times in my life, and there was major disconnection, one because of me not being taught Spanish in the home, and also because they were not Jehovah's Witnesses. And so that was another like factor of isolation in my life growing up. But again, when I discuss my life story with people, I always say that like there were so many other factors going on, and just being raised a Jehovah's Witness was just like kind of just like a veil to unveil like so many other systemic issues and ideologies that would lead my family into this religion. So I was very disconnected with my family. Um, we did go to the Kingdom Hall though, like one time in Panama. And of course I couldn't speak Spanish, so I didn't know what the hell was going on. Um, and then I told my mom, I was like, can you just take me to the Spanish congregation? Like I would like to be able to like speak with my family. Like this is my entire family over there, and I don't even know how to talk with them. Because again, like I wasn't connected with my dad's side of the family. I met them once when I was 5, and then once again when I was 21, and that was that. Um, and then when I was, well, trying to think, there was more, a lot more. Um, I just remember like having to, when my dad came back from prison, I was around like fourth or fifth grade, and that was like, he was very full on in it. So sometimes we'd even go to the mall and like preach. And I remember being so like, because it's fifth grade, and
You
this
want to
was,
see a friend or see somebody you know?
I made a meme once. It's like this like scared goat at a door, and it's just a caption of like little Jehovah's Witness me knocking on the door hoping it's not a classmate. And I was like,
Right.
please. And this was at a mall that was located in the neighborhood of the school that I was a transfer student at. So I was just like, I'm in it for the Webkins. I just want to, that's what my dad promised me. He's like, I'll get you a Webkins if you come preach with us. Like, I'm in
No
it for the
bribe, never hurt nobody.
like, yeah, I was like, please. I'm like, ooh, and I would have to change clothes too after school when my dad would pick me up. Cause like I would change out of my little outfit, and because they weren't like Jehovah's Witness clothes, like
Right.
I'd be in the skirt. And the students would be like, why are you dressed like that? I'm like, oh, I have to go to field service. They're like, what's field service? I'm like, oh well, it's where I discuss the Bible with people and trying to save them from Armageddon.
It's fun. I'm a free marketer for the Jehovah's Witnesses, basically. What free
I'm a
labor?
solicitor. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I think about the child labor factor of it, and I'm like, I wonder if there could be a class action on that because it is child labor, despite it not being a product that is being peddled out. Because they're like, we're donation based, we don't charge, even though back in the day they used to
They
charge.
did, yeah. They changed that when I was young, when I was, yeah.
But it's like, what is it? Also, I got an issue with it being called field service as well, but that's discussion.
Yeah,
I'm
that
like,
might be why they changed it from reporting your time to just checking the box. I went out in service this month. They changed that, I think.
because I just think in general, like knowing history and the fact that like cults like this tend to, the target demo tends to be in lower income areas,
Yep.
and
People who are
because
disenfranchised, people who, yep,
and in this country based on its history, who tends to be affected by that, and it's mainly Black and brown communities. And so I'm like, that's why every time I hear like field service, I'm like, what y'all really saying? Like free labor, uh,
basically.
and you're pushing the message of a religion that was used as a weapon essentially to genocide
Christianity, yep.
and enslave people.
Used to colonize the whole world and steal and rape and do all sorts of atrocities.
Exactly.
Believe us or you're gonna die. God's gonna kill you. What is that?
It's like the whole, and then I think of like God, like the unconditional love of God. I'm like the one that mm, be killing
Mhm.
people, that violent motherfucker. Like, um,
Yeah, Yahweh is very narcissistic, I would say.
hmm
Serve me, you gotta serve me, I'm the only God, or kill this village of whatever because the
God is really
Midianites, because
not.
exactly.
Yeah, and
Even kill the
oh
wives and the children, kill the women and children,
yeah, no, exactly. Equal opportunity hater, I guess.
basically.
And then oh my gosh, letting the Israelites wander for 40 years. I'm sorry, it's not funny, but it kind of is like I remember watching The Prince of Egypt like as a kid because I guess it was allowed for some reason.
Right.
Love that movie. I love the music in it. Um, but I saw this TikTok the other day. I guess because it was around Easter time and people were posting like their religious comedy bits, and they posted like the ending scene. And then they were like, they didn't know what would happen after Moses comes down the mountain. And I didn't realize, it never clicked in my head. I'm like, oh, that's why they didn't show the rest of it. Because like he comes down, they got the gold calf, they doing some pagan shit.
Exactly.
I'm like,
They made a new
oh,
god. They made a new god.
yeah, exactly. I was like, oh my gosh, do you remember sorry. Uh when did you leave the witnesses?
In 90, like I went to school in 97. I graduated. No, I graduated in 97. So like 98, 99.
Okay, okay. So I that's around the time my parents converted.
Hmm.
So I do remember they had a special screening for this movie that was showing what happened after Moses came down the mountain. And when I tell you I was so traumatized by it because they showed a scene of like every time I would read that scripture about like God opening the earth and like swallowing people. Oh my gosh. That scripture scared me so much. And then they made a movie about it. The Jehovah's Witnesses did. And I remember seeing the scene and I'm like, why is nobody screaming? It's horrifying to me. I'm like, oh my God, do you see? I was terrified of like that happening at any moment of any day. I was like, that's how Armageddon's gonna be.
Hmm.
Like the earth's gonna open up. Like, because they would say, like, oh, it's not gonna be in the way that you think it's gonna be Armageddon, the apocalypse. It's not gonna be like fire, blah, blah, blah. It's gonna just, and I don't know. And so I was like, so it's gonna be the earth opening up, right? What if I fall in?
Yeah.
Like, is Jehovah gonna pick me back up? Be like, you're good.
Put a protective force field around you.
Yeah, they used to have that story of like, will you jump off a mountain for Jehovah? And like trusting God. I don't know if they told you that story.
I don't remember that one.
Oh my gosh. They must have changed a lot. They didn't have the new light until around the time that I was leaving, but they would have this story of a man's on a mountain and he hears God talking to him and God's like, "Do you have your full faith in me?" And he's like, "Yes." And he's like, "Jump off the mountain."
No, I'm not
He's like,
doing that.
"Why?" It's like, "Well, you said that you got your full faith in me, so jump off the mountain." Like, and so he did, and apparently God caught him or something like that.
Man, no, that's not happening in my house.
I was like, "Oh hell no." Nah, not me. I'm like, I got a fear of heights now. No, you
Exactly.
won't even catch me on a damn mountain. Um, and then oh, here's another experience. I think in fifth grade, I had to give a talk. Um, or what was that called? Forgot. This because like we were
Talks, I think they call them talks.
yeah, the talk with an older sister.
Yeah, they
And
give like a household situation where you're sitting down having a conversation.
yeah, exactly. Or like field service
Hmm.
thing.
They're all trying to, everything around Joe's Witness is trying to pay you for the preaching work, basically, the free labor.
Exactly. And I was just like, so I got homework on top of and I wrote it too. I wrote the talk, and the sister would just like check over it, and then all the rehearsals.
Hmm.
God damn, I'm like, I just want to study math. And so this talk though, it was my first one, and I wore a skirt that I had worn to the Kingdom Hall many times before, but apparently the skirt, when I sat down on stage, went above my knees. And
Right. That's
I
a
had my
no-no.
legs crossed so you could see above my knee. And I just remember like at the end of the meeting, um, two brothers pull me aside and they take me to the back room. And it's just them and me in the back room. And then they start giving me this entire Bible lecture about modesty and about the brothers' wandering eyes and like basically the sexual objectification of a child at
So my thought on that is they're just trying to protect you from the CSA, all the abusers in the congregation.
but I'm also like, but brothers, why you look at though?
Exactly.
And also, why am I a sexual object? I haven't even hit puberty yet,
Yes, crazy.
which was absolutely insane and very traumatizing. And then, actually, that same year too, I wanted to go on a fifth grade camping trip. It was like the school would take all the kids to this just like fun, like fifth grade graduation, like, hey, we're gonna go to the camping thing, and it's like a little zip line and da 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 da. And and I was out in field service, evening service with my dad and another brother. And then I'm in the back of the car. and they're discussing it. And then I get another lecture from my father and this brother. My father was taking it too far though, because obviously, again, the mental stuff. And he was just telling me about like these kids, they go and have sex and blah 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 blah, and that's what you're gonna be doing, and like all these accusatory things. And mind you, again, big nerd, severely anxious, like all of this just like being thrown at me, and then the Bible, and I'm like, I'm so impure. I'm so impure. I hadn't done shit.
Right.
And there was definitely some like when I was younger, some weird shit that had happened that I'm not open to discussing, but it definitely like the fear of all of that stemmed from that too as well. And
Was it
the,
within the hall though? Was it in the hall where that happened?
that though, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can't connect it because it would have happened when I would have been like a toddler. Because
Okay, gotcha.
my earliest memory is of me getting my diaper changed at a daycare center. So I had to have been like 18 months old at that time.
Hmm.
And then like another memory, I was like a toddler in my high chair and like I wanted more spaghetti. I was just like, give me more pasta. Something like that. So like my memories are very early. They're just a little bit disconnected, or I just completely block them out.
Right.
Like, but the feelings
They're
that I
way
remember,
back there somewhere, but you know something happened.
yeah, I do remember like being two and like having these like feelings of just impurity and like
Hmm.
violation.
Yeah.
And I could never explain it. And then like as I got older, I was kind of like, oh, oh, well, hold on, and talked to some other friends who have gone through that and
Hmm.
very similar things, especially when it happens at such an early age. Um,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, oh, okay, let me be mindful of this with myself and like just talk it out in therapy. But it would have been around the time of like my parents converting, but I don't know if it was specifically in the hall or
Right.
if it was somewhere else. And mind you, again, like poverty in the hood, a lot of things go
A lot
unchecked.
of things go happen in the hood. A
Yeah,
lot of things happen everywhere, but yeah.
but yeah. And so I'm like, it could have been anywhere.
Right.
And then what else? I just Oh, movies. Um, I remember like there was this family that I was raised in. Their kid was around the same age as me, and also the only other girl. And so we were like kind of forced to be best friends. And they were higher up in the church, and I used to get bullied by this little girl. This little girl, I mean, I would I still got beef with her. If I'm like, I it's a joke now when I say that I got beef with her, but I'm just like,
But you do.
but obviously I do. I'm like, now let me keep it a buck. I do. Um, so like her family had money, her family had like gone to college, had their own business and stuff. So, and I was the poor um child, single parent immigrant mom. And this is like this white that mixed family, like white and mom was Latina family with money, with their own business, successful pioneers, elders. Um, this little girl, anytime that I would get like a toy from the thrift store, she would get her parents to go and buy the new one of it
To rub
just
it in
to
your face a little bit.
be like, her
Mhm.
parents would sometimes like encourage it too on me. Like they would like buy two items of like a similar gift, but they would give her what was considered the more nicer one.
And give you the
Like,
thick and give you the less nice one.
yeah, like one time they gave us like these little field service book bags, and hers had the, I guess like the cute rainbow, sparkly, pink, whatever. And then mine was just like this bunk photo of Noah's Ark.
Wow.
I was like, cool.
Why not get both girls a nice gift and just let it be that?
Yeah, exactly. And then I remember this one time, now I don't think her dad knew about this, but I showed her this game that me and my dad used to play, like that we just came up with ourselves of just like, I love you so much, I love you more, or just this kind of like thing. But it was like a very specific way to do it. And then he got, I had shown it to her, and then like, I don't know, a couple weeks later, my dad got arrested again, was sent back to prison, and I think we had to stay, or no, I had to go. We used to walk from elementary school back to her place sometimes. And the day after my dad got arrested and sent to jail before he went off to prison again, um, she knew that. And then she intentionally played that game with her dad and would look at me while doing it to see if I would have any reaction to it.
Wow. Just be
I was like,
spiteful.
I was like, you a demon.
Yeah.
um,
So what ended up happening to your dad? What ended up happening with him?
so I actually just recently found the court records. It was just a lot of just domestic violence stuff. And then he officially like came back when I was in fifth grade. I think I found him, I can't remember if this was the second or third time or the final time. Because I remember my mom and I, we were going to get money for laundry or something, and we stop at this like corner store. And I walked past this like um homeless man, and we go into the store, and then we come back out, and I hear my government name, like Sharina, which I don't mind saying because I like my first name, but I just don't like people using it. And all I hear is like Sharina, and I'm like, hello. And turns out the homeless man was my dad. And I was just like, oh wow, this is crazy. And so he came back with us, and then we got like Pizza Hut or something. And then he started living with us again. And then I can't remember if he went back to prison again for the third time or if that was the final time. And then he got his life together for Jehovah, got baptized, and then my brother was born. And then yeah. And then he got his fellowshipped.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
still in it. But yeah.
So is he out of the truth then or out of the truth, but is he not a Jehovah's Witness anymore?
I think he's still disfellowshipped. I've been no contact with both my parents
Okay.
10 years now.
You
Uh,
disfellowshipped them?
hmm?
You disfellowshipped your parents?
well, they made me homeless. So,
Right.
like, my choice as someone who is no contact with their family, I think people should understand, especially parents whose children do not talk to them. Like, there's a reason, like, that your kids are not talking to you. And I do believe that children don't really have the capability of not having unconditional love for their parents. That's something that has to be ingrained into them based on the actions of the parents. Parents, though, they were their own independent people before the children came into existence. So they are capable of not having unconditional love for their kids. Because it's like to me, still to this day, I feel bad like speaking on my parents. And like I have so much understanding and so much empathy for everything that they've been through in their own lives, their own generational trauma, yet they cannot accept me for who I am
Mhm.
whatsoever because I'm too uh radical left or lib as they say,
I
libtard.
wouldn't say it.
Like
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck honestly because that's what they do be calling me. I mean, I've been called slurs, especially being mixed, which is insane in my head because I'm like, excuse me. Like, I'm like, just last week you was calling me Betty Cracker from the hood, and now you calling me what?
Mhm.
Oh, sir, hold on now. But yeah, being raised in a mixed household was very interesting. Um, but yeah, disfellowshipped, and then my mom just faded out as well. But again, cult hopping.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the last time I saw her, I was in Texas for an X's music festival, and a bunch of my New York friends who are also artists and musicians were playing it. So I was like, ah, I'll go see it, and I'll be able to see my brother for like 12 hours because he was like younger at the time. Like my mom picked me up and then picked my artist friend up, and then like or my mom picked me up because I flew in a day early, and then like we go to their house, and there was a rule of like if I'm in the house, I'm exiled to the upstairs. And I'm like, okay, like I haven't seen y'all in like 5 years, but cool, whatever. And then yeah, I came downstairs because my brother wanted to watch Harry Potter with me and I had never seen it before. And then yeah, my dad threw a fit because he was like, no, get that fuck like F this, F that, blah blah blah, fuck it. Like all that just and the thing is that my mom would stand by and allow it.
Mhm.
And that's how it was in high school as well. Just getting kicked out. And then that was the last time I saw my brother. And yeah, and then my mom had to go drive me to the airport to go pick up my friend, who's like a well-known artist and also very queer and very open. And I'm like, we get into an argument about me being queer and about like gender and pronouns and systemic oppression. I'm just like, lady, I told you I was queer in high school. How do you not remember this? Like, I specifically remember one of my favorite memories actually is feeling comfortable enough to tell her, because this is around the time she's fading out too in high school. I was like, yeah, so I'm agnostic, and I also think I might be bi. And her reaction, she just started like broke down crying, being like, well, I always knew that you were kind of gay. I just never thought you'd stop believing in God. And I was like, hmm, that did not go the way I thought it was gonna go. I was like the fact that I tried to soften the sexuality thing because I thought that was gonna be like the big one, not the I'm agnostic, I may believe in God, I may not believe in God,
I'm just open to it, but maybe not.
I'm like
Maybe.
I'm trying to soften the atheist blow for you.
Right.
And it was the like, oh my God. Yeah, and then the few times that we would be in contact, she would say like, because my life so far has been very well, got my shit together a couple years ago, but like very chaotic, dealing with all the trauma and stuff, and also being an artist and musician, like all
Hmm.
that jazz, and living in New York. Um, Anytime I would be going through something, the few times that we would reconnect, she would always tell me that she should have never left the truth and that I should have stayed in the truth, even though she was like, but she would never talk about herself going back to the Kingdom Hall. She was just like, I should have made you stay in the Kingdom Hall. I should have made you stay in the truth. I should have never told you about anything. I'm like, well, I already was having my doubts in my head. Like, I
Yeah,
wasn't gonna lie.
I'm my own person. I would have figured it out.
Yeah, and the fact though is that I did figure it out before her. I was like,
Exactly.
y'all were making me homeless. Y'all would kick me out on school nights and lock the door and like throw my shit out into the street. Like one time I got detained by the cops because like they kicked me out. And then my friend's mom was looking for me and called 911 because she was afraid that they did something to me. And then I got detained. And then I got a lecture by the cops being like, don't be a bad kid. Like I was a bad kid at your age. I'm like, I'm a straight A student on National Honor Roll, and all I want to do is choir. Like, I do theater. Forgot to do the dishes, and I'm studying for the SAT. That's my fucking sin.
Mhm.
And like, I have friends. Like, please stop lecturing me right now.
So did you get therapy from all this?
Yeah, I started therapy immediately, like when I got to college, but it's just like there's so much to unpack. Because even if I wasn't raised a Jehovah's Witness, there's still so much trauma to be unpacked. But no, I've been in therapy since college.
Feel like
Like,
it helped you? Did it help you in any kind of way?
I have found it helpful. I think it's also because it's just taken like a lot of time, and especially with the diagnosis that I have, because I have borderline personality disorder, and that's something that I'm like, my dad totally has that. Like, it's more in the mental health care system, like, or within psychiatry, a lot of mental illnesses tend to get gendered. And so like that's why some people get like men are more likely to be diagnosed bipolar, femmes or women are more likely to be diagnosed with borderline because it's considered the modern hysteria. And sometimes people get misdiagnosed, but I definitely am BPD. I'm like,
Okay.
yes. Um, but dealing with the PTSD as well, um, therapy has been super helpful. Like, and it's just I understand if people don't have access to it because healthcare in this country is not considered a human right.
Right.
It's considered a
It's a
privilege.
business.
Yes, it's that capitalism, late stage capitalism. I could go on about that all day.
Yeah,
It
I
is,
agree.
yeah, and it's just like, and the stuff that people go through in this country. A big thing for me is that deconstructing from one cult and then also getting an education or just being open to learning. Like moment I got to college, I was like, oh my God, this country's a cult. Like this entire country is a whole damn cult. It's a cult of racism. It's a cult of misogyny. It's the cult of white patriarchal supremacy. And so I had to make sure that I was like also actively deconstructing from that as well, because like you have to be mindful of that. I don't think you can ever consider yourself a true ally if you don't acknowledge the things that you were systemically and socially conditioned to believe in, whether or not you're saying it out loud or you're thinking it in your subconscious, like conscious or subconscious, it's ingrained in you. So you need
Yeah.
to be checking yourself daily for that.
Like racism is almost a cult, I guess, if you think about it.
I tell people, I'm like, if you're white, and even if you got white privilege, and like in my case, I'm like, if you're not, if you believe that you are not possibly capable of perpetuating racism, despite it being ingrained into this very country,
It's
it's
built in its DNA. I mean, it's unavoidable. You can't not be a racist in some form or fashion, I feel like.
exactly, and that's why you need to be constantly checking yourself for,
Mhm.
and that's why again, education is so important, and it needs to be more accessible to people.
So I have some hot seat questions. You want to go through those now?
Somewhat.
Hot seat questions?
What is a hot seat question?
So I just kind of
Oh,
put you on the
hot
spot.
seat, hot seat. I was like, la silla. Okay.
Yeah, so what would you say was the one thing, like if you're gonna pick your one thing that caused you to kind of stop believing in the organization, what would it be?
Um, the kindness of others, experiencing what real friendship is. And that I think that was the biggest factor for me of just like Ariel, my friend from high school, just showing me like just being accepted for being me. Because I always felt like an outcast and a freak and isolated. And I didn't know. I was just like, I think that was the biggest factor because it just I could not fathom that the nicest, most kind person I had ever met in my life could be destroyed by this god.
Yeah. So what's the most valuable lesson have you learned in life so far?
Ooh, I've learned many lessons. Um, I think to give yourself grace, especially if you're coming out of being a Jehovah's Witness, um, because no matter what age that you exit, there's always going to be something you're going to feel robbed of stuff. Like I felt robbed of a childhood for so long. I was very angry, and it's okay to feel angry. Um, it just takes time to heal and just be patient with yourself and give yourself grace. Mistakes will be made in the healing process, but healing is not linear. It's just taking your time and digesting new information, learning more about yourself and who you are.
If you're gonna have a conversation with your mother, if you were having a conversation with the mother, what would you want to tell her to help resolve some of the issues that you've had with her?
I mean, I've tried having the resolution conversations with her. Unfortunately, the factor is that I'm just not accepted
Okay.
because I've tried many times, and
Mhm.
then I see like because sometimes when my brother will DM me on Instagram, I guess she has access to the account, and she's like, I don't understand why you kids don't talk to me, and I'm
Do you feel
like,
like if you're born a male, that it would be different though?
hmm?
Do you have a feeling if you were born a male, that it would be different? Your relationship with your mom would be different?
Yes, absolutely,
Hmm.
I do because I'm like I was discussing it again, and I don't like ragging on my mom, but I actually discussed this with a friend yesterday. I think that like there's an issue with and with mothers anywhere really who have like firstborn daughters. They're just the firstborn daughters are treated as an anchor to not feel loneliness if the husband is not present. And with my dad being in and out of prison or like being on the streets and stuff, I was that anchor. And then when my brother was born, of course, that's when my mom starts having doubts because now there's a new man in her life. Like, you know, the boy mom thing.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I think if I had been born a boy, life would have been different. I probably would have still been a Jehovah's Witness. I'll keep it
Hmm.
because there's a lot more privilege there too. But then
So,
again, maybe not.
is there anything that I haven't asked you that you'd like to add in conclusion?
Ooh. I mean, I could just plug my music and plug my
Please
project.
do. Yeah, please do.
So, yes, Jehovah's Princess is my artist name. I make electropunk music. I've been featured on Take Five with Zanro by TV on the Radio. One of the members is also an ex-Jehovah's Witness as well. Check it out if it's your thing. If it's not, that's totally okay, but come to the show sometime. I play across the country. Hopefully, we'll play in Europe soon or someday. And if you're a music manager, please, I need a music manager. And I love to tour. Unlike Michael Jackson, also another Jehovah's Witness, I love to tour.
Well, cool. Well, Ja, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Good luck to you and all your future adventures.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on here, Amani. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.